Steve and Justin Sliva here. Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala with guest Justin Sliva. I'm broadcasting from dreary Southern California today. Justin's out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we're trying something new. It's called Finance Friday. This is actually episode 1. Justin has been, much to my happiness, surprise, financing a lot of our groups, a lot of our members in our group. And I'm going to actually ask him how it works. Maybe you can start out by introducing us to how this all works and how they get a hold of you and what's generally going on, Justin.
Thanks. It's pretty simple to get a hold of me, and people do it by different ways. We'll see them come through Facebook, through Instagram, through our website, which is primarily the easiest way, pluminvestmentgroup.com, and they can fill out a schedule there and schedule an appointment, and it shoots me an email. I'll shoot it right back to you and set up a time and date for us to either have a phone call or we can do it via email, do it via text. It's pretty easy. It's crazy to think that I had a guy heard our podcast from last week, and he reached out and said, "Hey, I'm stuck at 160 deals. I need your help to scale. What can we do and how can we do it?" And that's, to me, is pretty awesome to see that work like that. So, and he went through one of my listings on my personal land page. So it's pretty neat for him to get a hold of us that way and kind of work through that. But so any one of the mediums there, Plum Investment Group has got a Facebook. It does have an Instagram. It does have a website. And so all of those are the easiest ways to get a hold of us.
You can also go to landinvestors.com, and there's a top menu item called Get Funded or Get Funding. So that goes to Justin too.
Great, yeah, and I appreciate that help, that plug. It's nice to see that we can, the things that we saw in the beginning in our career in land investing, we saw that we ran out of money fast, and so we needed to know how to scale and get that faster. So we're trying to solve that problem for some of our newer land investors.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Land Academy 2.0 is all about. It's about scaling up your business and doing more expensive deals, even if you don't have the money. So yeah. That's what this Finance Friday is all about too. Talk about the deals that you're doing and generally how it works or maybe how it doesn't work.
Yep. Yep.
You have a couple of examples this week that...
Man, I had some killer deals come in this week. Right now, we've about 6 states we greenlit this week, and that's crazy to me to think that you have the Pacific Northwest, you have the South, you have actually east of the Mississippi, you've got some of the desert states, your New Mexicos and Arizonas. I had one come up, and we're working through a little bit of hair on it, but it was 320 acres in the South, and it's got a cool story to it. As I was talking to the guy, we're working through I've helped him through the way through pricing, through making sure his mailer was correct, and working through his buy side setup on his email or his website and his other stuff. So just kind of helping him along through the process. And he got his first deal back, and he's freaking out because that first mailer goes out and you get them back and you don't think that it really works, and you're getting this plethora of deals coming in. But he had 2 deals that he wants to partner with, and I mean, amazing, 320 acres. The people bought it in the Cold War. They were in the military, and that was for fallout for Russians. So they bought it in the 50s. And this 4 group of guys bought a section, and 2 of them had already sold out, and these other 2 want to sell their half. And so the cool thing is they had this, and I'm telling a story a little bit before him, so I hate to ruin it for him, but I want to put it out there because I think it's an awesome story. They stockpiled a bunch of guns and ammo, soaked them in the oil that they put them in the cases, and buried them. And they had handwritten topography maps because this was before Google Earth, because it was the 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere in there. And a tornado came through and changed the topography, and they can't find the guns now, and they're all in their 80s. So it's a great story, but for that reason alone, I'm like, yeah, I want to partner on this deal with you. Let's do this. There's a little bit of access we've got to work through. We're going to get somebody out on the property to make sure it has solid access, and we don't run into one of those situations where we have a farmer that's trying to do adverse possession. We'll run it through title. I think this deal is going to be it's going to make this guy on his first deal probably close to $50,000-$60,000, depending on how we do it. So I mean, it's a heck of a deal. So another one was a 60-acre place. It's a 40 and a 20 that he's got together, and I'm kind of pushing if he had the tool chest or the war chest to cover it himself to do it, but I would walk him through it if he needed me to. So his first 2 deals, he's got potential of making anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 on his first 2 deals on his first mailer. So it's amazing to see. Same guy, yeah.
First mailer?
First mailer, yeah. So he reached out. He heard us on a podcast, reached out, and then said, "Hey, he was wanting to start small with the 1.5 to 2 acre in the desert for a couple $100." And I was like, "No, man, I got your back. If you get something big you can't handle it, we'll take care of it for you." And to see that now, now his wife's giving him permission to leave his job and do that sort of thing. And that's kind of the cool thing for us, is what we want to see. But like I'm telling him, I'm like, hold on, let's bump our brakes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we have the money in place to take care of our family, because you got 2 small kids, and that you have that to grow your business as well, because that's the whole point of this, is scaling your business to get that financial freedom and be able to be successful.
That's great advice. That's fantastic, though. So he contacted you before he even sent a mailer out to talk to you about what you'll finance.
Yep. Yeah. And we've actually had a couple people do that in the last 2 months. We've worked with a couple people from actually pricing their mailer all the way through getting that first property back. We've done that with 3 people, and so far those 3 people have got potentials of $90,000, $100,000 deals. They're hitting 2 and 3, 20-acre places. They're going to profit $15,000, $20,000. We started sending out checks today for the first deals that we've closed. That title takes while we've been open 2 months. So 2 months on the front side a month on the front side, got them in, sold them. A month on the back side to get closed. Now we're getting paid and we're starting to distribute. And these guys are like, "This is great. We're getting $10,000 checks or $6,000 cashier's checks in the mail if they don't want to be wired money too." So it's a great thing.
I honestly didn't. When we sat down to do this podcast today, I didn't realize that there's that much success. I didn't know. I don't know what to expect, what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's my business. I do have a business partner. His name's Shane. We had a supplement company together, so we've worked together, and we worked in the rail industry together. So we've been in and out of partnerships for since 2010, hand in hand. We've known each other since 2004, and he's like, "Hey, we just got to keep turning money back, and so he's loving it, and he's trying to find a time to get and sit down with me so he can kind of adjust what we're going to do on some of the home side with Plum, and so that's where he wants to be kind of helpful. So it's definitely neat. We're seeing both sides kind of get moving pretty quickly here.
What's your capacity? Because I mean, that story's fantastic. This show is getting pretty big. Mm-hmm. So I expect this first episode, and now we're going to do it every Friday, I think. Now we are for sure that you got stories like this every week.
Yeah.
I expect your phone to kind of ring off the hook. So, what's your capacity?
Man, it's ebb and flow with where deals are. So, we may have a couple closings coming in or pending, and then I start earmarking money once we have an investor agreement, and then it stays earmarked until it actually closes and we fund it, and then it's just a matter of turning that money. So, right now we have about 100,000 sitting ready to go to be dispersed today. That's not earmarked, with some reserves sitting back in the back, and that's kind of depends upon where I'm at in my land business too, because me and my partner both will turn more money into Plum as it needs, but we just kind of got started with a set amount and then started turning through it. So, but again, if it's run to the bank, we have the access to get more capital.
I mean, I have to ask, is how much do you help brand new people with actually getting the mailer in the mail? So
when we go through that, I'm trying to think, and we've done probably about 7 or 8 people, through the Plum process, where we've gotten them from pricing the county, double checking their mailer for them, and then getting them done to where they hit it to offers to owners and get it sent out. So it's helped them in that aspect. We just did Kentucky with a guy where we mailed some of it ourselves and then mailed it with them, and it was their first mailer. We held them through the pricing, through the picking the counties, and then checking the counties to make sure they had the data that they needed to support their business. So I mean, when people kind of they get mad at us, they're like, "Oh, you want 50% of our deal?" Well, we're taking the risk with you. We're willing to help you through it. I mean, this is a true joint venture. We're not just saying, "Hey, bring the deal to me. We're going to fund it, yes or no." If you're having problems, we're going to walk you through it and kind of get you that success.
It's priceless.
So, yeah. So it's
priceless consulting for free.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the guys that they'll say, "Hey, I want you to help me price. I want to understand it." We do charge a little bit. We'll say, "Hey, sit down with me. I'll price your mailer with you. $75. Okay. Not a huge deal. If you have a problem and you want me to work you through all the way through something, we'll do it. I think I charge for that's $150. But you're getting 2 hours of my time just sitting here focused in on what you're having an issue with, and we kind of give you some ideas. But some guys that we've partnered with, we've done 5 or 6 deals with a guy, and he's having trouble understanding something. He just calls and says, "Hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me?" And yeah, of course, we're a partnership. We want to make sure you're successful.
Amazing. Truly amazing. I did not expect this, honestly.
Oh, wow.
When we sat down on Skype here, I thought you were going to say, "Yeah, we're doing a couple deals in northern Arizona or whatever," but
Yeah.
You know, you're going to make a couple new members, you know, Land Academy members. They're Land Academy members, right?
Yeah. Right now, I had a couple people reach out this week that aren't, which is they're in other groups, which is kind of neat to me. But I've had to have a firm conversation with some of them that, you know, they send out 10,000 postcards saying I'm interested in buying your land, and it's just like, come on, man, they've got 5,000 voicemails they've got to go through, and it's just like, come on, dude, let's think of it. It's not how we do this. This is not what we're going to do here. So let's fix that. Get to the point. Let's get the land bought and let's get it sold.
Yeah, I mean, my age-old comment to that is, are you serious about this or not?
Yeah.
You know, we're not. Look, I understand. Everybody wants to save money and spend as little as you can. But just do it. Let's do it right. Like, you know, this is a perfect example because you got a couple guys who are going to make 60 to 80, 100,000 bucks on their first mailer.
Yeah.
And it took me like 3 years to do that. To make that much money. So, I mean, it's good for you though. It's great for you if you got.
It's good to have these people out there looking for deals, and you know, it kind of slows my land business down because of it. We've got a few houses going right now. A few pieces of property. I've got a few places I'm going to start mailing, so I'm kind of working through the data side on how I want to do that. But it's hard for me because I may get a call from a guy and he tells me he's going to mail, you know, a certain state and a certain county, and I have to back off of it because, like, hey, I was looking at that area as well, so I'll let them go ahead and do it, and I know I'm going to partner with them, so I'm like, hey, well, I've already done the research. This is what I see it as, and this is where we're at, and we work together through it, and we're both successful.
That's amazing. So I think you mentioned in a conversation we had in person that you said you fund about 25% of the properties that are submitted. Is that still true?
Yeah, that is pretty true. You know, we kind of get a little bit particular on certain type of deals, and you know, I have to have that conversation usually with the first meeting with somebody. I tell them, hey, you know, it may be a great deal, and I may tell you, hey, this is a good deal, but it doesn't fit my model right now, because if I tie up 20 grand to make us all 5 grand and say it sells for 25, well, it's not a bad day for somebody. But when you put a partner in it's taking half, now you're only making 10% on your money, and if it takes 6 months to sell it, then I'm slowing down the velocity of money, and that's our capacity is created by the turning of the money, the velocity there. And we've had that conversation with some of our investors that we say, hey, you know, if you can sell this property and we make a profit, don't be bashful about calling and say, hey, Justin, I got an offer. We're going to make 25% real quick. You know, make a call and let's keep going, because that gets you into another deal, and we keep turning that money and we all make more money.
Right. So is it always money, or is it the quality of the property?
Sometimes it's access is one of the biggest downfalls for us. Is we see, like, I got my 3 properties, and I always go back to the 3 properties I lost money on were access issues, and it wasn't a lot of money. You know, 3 properties, $1,200 total, which isn't bad. But you know, I had a property coming in, it was 80 acres in Texas. And I had bought one within a quarter mile of this place, and it looks like it has a road on the map. It goes across a ranch, and I'm like, hey, man, if you're going to buy, I said, I wouldn't buy one. This is one of the deals I lost money on. But if you're going to buy it here, you need to make sure you can get from this highway to there legally and go from that, and go make sure you have that access. And that's our biggest downfall. We've had some properties come back that are beautiful in the mountains of Arizona, or beautiful in the mountains of New Mexico, and it's like BLM roads to it, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of a trail that you don't know. And then the person, you start pushing for more information, then they reach out to their seller and they get more information. They say, yeah, you can't go between November and March because it's too wet. It's unpassable. So that's our main thing, is access.
Hey, you know what I think I'll do is I'll set up a full-blown forum on land investors so people can ask questions, because I noticed we're getting some questions about getting funded and things like that. It only helps us to our group, so
yeah,
I'll set that up today.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this Finance Friday thing worked great. We're at about 15 minutes, which is typically our number. So
okay, perfect.
Join us next time, where Jill and I actually talk about relationships, and we every Friday now is Finance Friday with Justin. So we will look forward to that, and we. As always, answer your questions posted on the online community at Land Investors. It's free. You're not alone in your real estate ambition. Dude, that worked out great.
Great. I'm glad it did. It's exciting to see what some of these guys are coming up with. You know, we're in a queue right now, I think, with about 7 more properties that we got approved this week. So.
Awesome, bud. We're at the trailing part of the show here. We're still on. So if you have anything else, you know what? why don't you give them the best way to contact you too?
Okay. Yeah, Justin at pluminvestmentgroup.com, or you can reach out via Facebook Messenger. A lot of people do that as well, so I'm easy to reach there.
Awesome. All right, bud.
All right.
Talk to you next Friday.
Yes, sir.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.